Hi everyone, I have a new mini to share with you. My daughter's boss is expecting her first baby. It's going to be a little girl, and I wanted to make her a little album. So this is a Michaels Dollar chipboard album that I covered with papers from Nana Nursery, the Nana's Nursery paper pad from Die Cuts with a View. Each of the pages has hand stitching around the edges, and I've also gone around the edges with Worn Lipstick Distress ink. All the flowers in this album are handmade with punches and dies and hand cutting. I didn't use any pre-made flowers. These are rolled roses. I cut out some white cardstock with decorative scissors and sprayed it with vintage pink glimmer mist and rolled those up. This idea for this flower came from Diamond Rose 123. You can find her here on YouTube. She did a tutorial on how to make these daisy flowers. That was white cardstock that I used 3 different distress inks on. This is just a seam binding rosette. I sprayed the seam binding with some glimmer mist also and made that into a little rosette. Then there's some little EK Success punch flowers in there, and of course got to have your Martha Stewart flower punch, leaf punches. Excuse me. This is a ribbon slider. It's made out of chipboard, and I painted it with some Shabby Shutters crackle paint. The little butterfly is crocheted. I crocheted that using the instructions on Tina's channel. That's Dream Big Lover, and gave it a bling trail. And there's some bead charms that I added onto the ring, and just some fibers and whatnot. The baby shoes, I think, are so cute. I found a pattern for them online. They're just made out of cardstock, and then I added some little buttons on there for the shoe closures. If you're interested in that pattern, I'm going to have the link to it on my blog. I'll put my blog address right here on the screen, or you can find it under my information in the sidebar on my page here. But they're not hard to make at all. They really aren't. And I resized the pattern that I found so that they would not overwhelm the cover, but be more to the dimension they needed to be. So that is the cover for the first page. Excuse me. I used some fibers to hold in a tag that I just cut out with a Nestabilities die and put some fiber on it. Made some journaling lines on the back with a white gel pen. Used the same pen to go around the inside of the Nesty die on the tag. I think this was a Making Memories ticket. The stars were cut with a Sizzix die, and this is fleece. I didn't know you could buy sheets of fleece like you can buy sheets of felt, but I found it at Hobby Lobby. I actually tried doing these with flocking, and I cannot work with flocking. I don't know if y'all can or not, but I couldn't never get it to be thick enough on the chipboard that I just didn't like the look of it. So I was glad I found that fleece. It worked out perfect. And I just tied some little buttons on with some embroidery floss and printed that out on my computer. And like I said, all the pages have the stitching and the inking. So that's the first page. Second page, I used 2 of the postage frames from cut from a Sizzix die, and I just popped those up on pop dots so you can stick your photos in behind there. There's some more of the roll roses that I made that were sprayed with the glimmer mist. And these were little chipboard pieces that I covered with some of the matching cardstock paper that I used throughout the album. And then I had some Cosmo Cricut rub-ons, and I put one on each of the little tags here. So that's that page. For the next page, I kind of cheated on this one. I wanted to cut this little dress out with a Cricut, but I didn't have a Cricut that had this on it. So I found this image online, and I just printed it out and made myself a template and just cut it out by hand. But I just used some of the papers to make the bottom of the little shirt a different pattern, and added the ribbon and some pearls. The little onesie looking dress there. Made these flowers with some EKs. Actually, I think these were Marva Uchida daisy punches. And this little duck is a button. Found him in a pack of buttons I got from Michael's, and I just cut the shank off the back of the button and glued him there amidst the flowers. This is another chipboard piece that I just printed out those words on my computer onto some paper and then put them on the chipboard and went around it with some diamond stickles. And I seem to have lost my tag that goes in here, but it fits right into that pocket like that. Alright, the next page, I made this little banner. This is a Nestabilities die, and I don't know if you can see it, but I don't want to bend that out. I just put it along the edge, the top, so it would have a little piece extra about this far down that I could fold over that embroidery thread to make it stay on there easier than trying to just glue it on top of the thread, so it would stay better. And then I added some pearls in between it when I strung the little banner pieces in between there. And I just stamped that with some of the Worn Lipstick Distress ink. A little tip there, you probably already know this, but it's very hard to stamp with Distress ink and get a clear stamp. If you will press your stamp into some Versamark before you put it onto your Distress ink pad, it will make your letter come out clear. Just a little tip there. I just made another nesty cut here with some journaling on the back for just a photo mat. These are some more of the fleece. I cut those with the Nestability die also. Just stack them up on top of each other with some pearls. So that is that page. The next page is the bib page. I just used a ton of the little EK Success punch flowers on this page. And the bib was made by using a oval nesty, and then I set a circle nesty up here to the place I thought it looked good to cut out the neckline, and ran it back through the Cuttlebug to cut that little piece out. Then I took some of this ribbon and used my needle and thread to pull it together to ruffle it up and put it around the edge of the piece that I cut out. And there's a scallop piece under here also that I cut out with a nesty die. And I took some of this ribbon and folded it over the edge of this to finish the neckline of the bib. Put some little flowers with pearls and the ties and a bow for the top of the bib. And that has a pocket there with journaling tag and photo mat for that page. The next page has another photo frame. This is a Nestabilities die also. I'll just put some bling on here in matching colors. Put some more of the EK Success flowers and some pretty rickrack I found at Michael's. This little butterfly is a Martha Stewart punch, and I gave him a bling trail, and if you can see his antenna, I don't know if that's very clear, but I just made the with embroidery thread, tied some knots in it and for the little ends of his antenna, and glued it to the back of him, and put a bow on the frame. So that's that page. The next page is my favorite. The diaper page. I wanted to put a diaper in this book, and I knew there had to be some way to make one. This is another flower, also like the one on the cover, from Diamond Rose 123. But this, you can find the pattern also on my blog where I got the template for it. I cut it out in white cardstock, but I really wanted it to feel like a diaper. So I had some cotton, just cotton material that I covered the cardstock with when I made it. And then it made it, you know, super simple to put the little safety pins in, or the diaper pins for the little diaper there. And it makes a pocket when you fold it up. So I had another photo mat and journaling on the back there, and that just slides into the diaper. And it had some pretty lace. This has white ribbon already ran through it, but I had some of this fiber that matched the paper perfectly, so I just ran it through the ribbon also. The last page is a pocket page. I didn't want to cover up the little animals because they're so cute, and so I put some ruffle ribbon and lace over here, but I needed somewhere to put the tags and the photo spots. So I decided to cut a slit along this line in the paper to make a pocket to put the tags in. And this was the hardest page because I kept cutting it wrong. The points on this album are 2 different sizes, and I kept cutting it the wrong way. So I finally got it right anyway. But when I cut that, once you glue, this is glued down solid, of course, and that had to stay open for the tags. But when you glued it, the paper, you know, was flush up against the chipboard, so it made it really hard to try to find the hole to get the tags in. So I decided to take this little thin strip of cardstock and just cut enough to cover that edge. And there's, you know, some cardstock on the inside. Just folded it over that cut edge and used some score tape to hold that on there so to be nice and solid. But it just makes that edge pop up enough that you never have any trouble sliding that tag into that pocket. There's no, you know, trying to find the edge to get it slipped under. So to finish off the page, I cut some little flowers out of the fleece, and these are some more buttons that came out of that pack of buttons that the duck was in. I just cut the shanks off the back of them and glued those on top of the little fleece flowers, and that completes that page. The back of the album, I found a sweet little poem by Helen Steiner Rice, so I put that on one of the Nestability die cuts and glued it on there. And then for my name, I didn't want to take away from the poem, I just wanted it to kind of blend into the background, but you can't really write very well on this paper because it's glittered. So I took a piece of acetate that's made for inkjet printers and printed out my information on there, and then I used glossy accents to glue the acetate to the back of the page, and then it looked kind of bare, and I just didn't like the way it looked around the edges, so I went around with the stickles to kind of dress up the edges of the acetate, and I thought it looked much better. But that is the album. I hope you like it. I had made her a card. I'll show you the card I had made, and I wanted to make the album to match the card. I used the same papers on it, but this is the card that I had created for her. She's a pretty redhead, so I had to make it match for her. And so that'll be going to my daughter's boss, who is due very, very soon. And I hope you'll find something in this album that you like. Like I said, I'll have the links for those patterns and things on my blog. I'd love to have you visit and come see what I'm doing there. It's mostly cards. I've really been doing a lot of card work lately. But look around, see, there might be something you like. And I guess I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.